Hey guys, just doing a review on the Lift 92 Havoc mid-aspect wing and the Brian Grubb Pro model, 4 feet long and 18 liters of volume. Let's start off with the Havoc 92. The whole entire setup, this wing felt incredible. It was like a Formula F1 car. It felt so fast, so turny, incredible feel. This 92 Havoc has a little bit of thickness through the front, so for its size, pretty small. I was able to pump up and pump out and link up multiple waves. A funny line I heard while I demonstrate, you can pump on this foil. The Hawaiians said surfing was a sport for kings. Well, foiling is a sport for gods. Thought that was a funny one. In Peru, but yet it has some great high-end speed. And I'm using also this to kite with and tow with, and it feels great with the 20 carved tail. It's the short fuse and a small tail. Very loose, yet for this size and a short fuse and that small board, I never felt like I was too much to manage or like totally out of control. I still felt like it was, you know, nimble enough, stable enough, and it just felt great. So with these mid aspects, I've been using high aspect wings, rather a mid aspect ones until that trip, and definitely had an aha moment when I rode the Lift 120 HA after being on this one for like 5 days straight. The turning was just night and day. Yeah, as I was saying, I just thought, you know, I can do everything on a high aspect wing just as good as a mid aspect. I'm like, oh, whatever. But no, it's not quite the case. It just definitely gives a different feel. And this is the Florence 110 as a comparison shape. As you can see, it's a lot wider, and it really does loosen things up when you have a much narrower wing, or foil I should say. Also, you can really do some aggressive turns, way more so, and not have to worry about the tips breaching out, which often results in a wipeout just because it's so much more narrower. Also, when you're kiting, often you're always on an edge. This is always on an angle when you're tacking upwind or just going kiting, so you feel a lot more secure. And while you're kiting and while you're winging and also while you're towing, you don't really need as much glide compared to downwinding, or if you're not linking up waves, because you can rely on that kite, that wing, or the boat when you're towing to give you that low end and the glide and to get to the next wave. So you can kind of use those wind powered tools or toys to help you keep going. So moving forward, when I'm winging, I'll be using a mid aspect for sure. Kiting, super small one. I just ordered the Lift mid aspect, or the Havoc 105. I'm gonna be winging with that, and I'm super excited about. My last session winging on the lakes here is about, on on a big set, maybe head high waves. I was using the Lift 120 HA, that's 775 square centimeters. And I know in some of my turns, I just had too much power and I was blowing it, wiping out on a bottom turn and like a critical part of the wave right where you want to be, right where you want to be doing those turns. And you know, 775 square centimeters, I'd consider definitely a smaller wing. And I just was unable to do some of the maneuvers I knew I had in mind, or I feel I could make happen with a smaller wing. And also it's just, you know, you can turn right in that pocket and stay with it a little bit easier. I don't think I'll ever really use a smaller mid aspect when I'm downwinding or doing big sends, but it's just kind of a new revelation for me I wanted to share with you guys, and give it a shot yourself. I always recommend try new things, switch up your setups all the time, and it'll just make you better and enhance your time on the water. So talking a little bit more about this board. Isn't it pretty? Blue colors. I use this board for towing and for kiting. Starting with towing, it's very easy to sink and get under your feet at 18 liters. You're not fighting with it, wrestling to keep it underwater. Also, at 18 liters, it's 4 feet long, which is a decent size. It's not some micro, very small pump board. It still has a little bit of length and size to it. And that length and size will make it easier for you to pop out of the water while you're towing and getting up on foil. So it's quite user friendly, very happy with it. Also, with it being lower volume while kiting, when you're in the water and you have it like this, it stays there a little bit longer than like a 30 liter board, where a 30 liter board will want to pop up like that very quickly, where you can get this on its side in the water and it'll stay there for a little bit longer, which makes it a lot easier to dive your kite and get up on foil. Just a little bit user friendly that way as well. And with that 92 Havoc, kiting has been so much fun. I've been using like high aspect wings kiting. It's never felt good. It's never felt really smooth. I mean, I'd be blowing up all the time, botching turns. Yeah, I could get out and kite with it, but it just never quite felt right. Where this just feels awesome. And now that I have this set up, I've been kiting with it a lot more. It's kind of reintroduced kiting, or just added a whole new fun thing for me to do. And you can go so fast, see a swell, and just rip the hardest turn so fast and hard, and you're not blowing up and you're keeping under control. So it's been a lot of fun. Here's the side profile of it. It has a little bit of rocker, and the deck has a little bit of concave to it as well, which is nice, so you can tell where your feet are on the board. I like to stagger my feet, so then you can know when you're getting close to the edge. Also with the deck pad, it's elevated on the edges, so I know I've touched on this point in a previous video, but I just want to make a point of it again. Don't be afraid to go down in foil size. I feel like a lot of people are using bigger foils, and they're like, oh, you know, these 600 square centimeters or these smaller foils are just for the pros. I mean, when you have a kite or a wing or you're towing, you can get away with the smaller foils. And when you're using a smaller foil, you're able to just go down those super steep sections in complete control. And you're able to maneuver and do those sharp turns without blowing up. If you have a much bigger foil that's higher aspect, like, more chances of a breached wingtip often results in a wipeout, and you're just generating so much lift in these critical parts of the turn. So really, a smaller wing, when you're in the steep sections or the really playful sections or the pocket, you're able to stay in control. It's actually makes it easier. So don't be afraid to give these smaller wings a try. It really can open up a whole new realm to your riding that is so much fun. Anyways, whatever gear you got, just get out on the water, have some fun, no matter what sport it is. Try something new, change it up, have some fun, go get some action, keep the stoke alive.